अभी तक हमको कुछ नहीं मिला। हम खुद उनके ढूंढ में जाते। जब हमारे यहाँ ब्लास्टिंग आई, उन्होंने कोई न सुनाई की, न हमको पूछा है। खुद हम उनके ढूंढ में जाते हैं। लेकिन एनटीपीसी को जब हम मिलने जाते हैं, उनके जो महाप्रबंधक है अभी तक हमको मिलने के लिए तैयार नहीं, जो कि हम इस गांव के जनप्रतिनिधि हैं। तो आम आदमी को क्या मिल सकता है?
Conditions of public hearing held for the proposed hydroelectric power project shall be strictly implemented.
जन सुनवाई जहाँ पर हुई होगी, चंद लोगों को इकट्ठा किया गया और जन सुनवाई यानी कागजों में कर दी गई।
मेरे को तो मालूम हो गया था, मैं तो गया था, डबरानी तक गए थे हम तो मना किया था हमको उसमें क्या कहते हैं नहीं यहाँ होना चाहिए काम। और कुछ लोगों को पता ही नहीं है गाँव में, वो कैसे नहीं जा पाए।
The truth is vastly different. Till October 2007, the latest list provided by the NTPC stated a total of 56 people working on temporary basis and another 36 whose status is not clear. Maneri Dam 1, operational since over a decade, employs 70 people, only 2 of whom are junior engineers. The rest are below that, working as drivers, peons, shramiks, etc. The population of this district is almost 3 lakhs. Even the environmental impact analysis conceded that jobs with NTPC, the proposed hydroelectric project, do not envisage significant job opportunities to the local residents in the unskilled and semi-skilled category. However, preference will be given to the persons affected by the project if they meet the requirements. With the loss of the Ganga, blocked roads, landslides and reckless destruction of natural beauty, tourism, which is a major source of self-employment for the locals, is bound to be adversely impacted. It is projected that the dam reservoirs will be a future tourist attraction. History is witness to the decades-old Maneri Dam Lake. One has yet to find any pilgrim or tourist who has come, possibly from miles or even continents away, just to see the dammed reservoir. Perhaps it is not clear that even the idol at Gangotri that thousands flock to is merely a symbol of the living, free-flowing river that now will be lost to sight. Water contributes directly or indirectly to all aspects of development. The construction of the dam will enhance the water supply of the area and enhance better personal hygiene, etc. Quotes Uttaranchal Jal Vidyut Nigam in the EIA of Pala Maneri project. When one reads the above as a positive impact, the appalling events that took place at Shingori village during the construction of Maneri Bhali 2 by the same Uttaranchal Jal Vidyut Nigam appear all the more stunning. The village is located on the banks of the Dhanpat stream, from where water is drawn to their fields for irrigation. The villagers report that since 5 years, the constructing company has been dumping cement and waste into their stream.
देखिए ये जो हमारी धनवती नदी है, इसमें ये केमिकल सीमेंट जो सुरंग निर्माण कार्य से वहां से बह रहा है.
This year the quantity was so huge that when the water was drawn into their fields, it left behind a thick layer of cement.
इस सत्र से ही बहुत ही ज़्यादा सीमेंट का जो है बहाव हो रहा है. यहाँ तक कि जो हमारे पंचकिया भी है वो भी चलने में असमर्थ हो रही है, क्योंकि उनमें सीमेंट जम जाता है, परत बन जाती है और वो पंचकिया खड़ी हो जाती है.
ये अभी वर्तमान में ये सीमेंट के टुकड़े हैं. पूरे सीमेंट नहरों में जो भी पूरे नहरें भरी हुई है और इन नहरों में कोई भी पानी चलने की संभावना नहीं है और न चल सकता है, क्योंकि ये पत्थर के समान ये सीमेंट आज पूरा एक लेवल हो चुका है.
And this stream, once a clear flowing brook, full of fish and life, is now dark and murky with cement. It enters directly into the Ganga, just a few meters downstream. The villagers have no other stream or water source for irrigation. At several places, muck from the construction sites is also finding its way to the river. Although in a reply to the questions by RTI, the NTPC authorities state that no muck is being disposed in the river. This debris flowing into the river has a cruel impact on the young fish by choking the gills of the young fry and causing asphyxiation of the developing embryo in eggs. It is clearly admitted in the projects that the Himalayan snow trout, a threatened species, will have no free movement for migration by the construction of these projects. The Himalayan snow trout and the golden mahseer need to swim upstream and spawn in the waters where they were born. A sequence of dams along these rivers could in fact wipe out these two species by blocking this passage. It stresses the fish greatly as they are disturbed by the shadows of birds and humans. They also become easy prey. Shallow waters mean increased temperatures and short food supply. In such a scenario, perhaps, only 10 fish will exist where 100 could. The wilderness of these mountains is also home to several animals listed as Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, such as the Asiatic black bear, Himalayan thar and leopard, the jungle cat facing threat, currently listed as Schedule 2, also calls these jungles home. In fact, animals like the black bear would not even migrate when disturbed. They would simply phase out. According to the different EIAs, overall no adverse impact is foreseen on the water quality. So one has to accept that pouring of construction effluents, sewage, waste, virtually drying up of a riverbed, destroying flora and fauna of the water, increasing water temperature, and reducing flow rate is acceptable. In fact, we only seem ready to acknowledge pollution as pollution when it reaches its absolute limit of rejection and not before. These projects finally join up to the gigantic Tehri Dam. The first thing that hits one is the eerie stillness of the huge body of water. Is nature susceptible to shocks? One does not know. But the stunned silence that seems to emerge from these hills and the mute, stifled cry that would almost utter itself but for a bewildered disbelief and a great unspoken reproach that emerges from this deadly calm of the once rushing, frolicking, free Ganga is felt vividly in the place where such things are felt. Call it the superstition of an entire nation. It is one that has survived millennia, that the science of today verifies. It is one that has produced a wonderful richness of culture, of heightened perception, of deeper feeling and upliftment. It is one that invisibly, with the fluid grace and movement of water, has bound together a diverse people with bonds so light they cannot be seen or felt, but withal so strong that to open the slightest is to scatter millions. The local people complain about the quality of water, which according to the Tehri Dam authorities, as per tests conducted by them in July 2007, is rich in dissolved oxygen. We seem to be missing a point. To tell a person who is seeing dead cattle and the remains of dead human bodies, sewage waste and more, all collecting before his eyes in a reservoir, that this water is fit for worship, for drinking or bathing, as perhaps it is still rich in dissolved oxygen, is to indulge a technical nicety at the expense of common sense, experience and practicality. Dr. U.K. Chaudhary, a professor at the Banaras Hindu University in the Civil Engineering Department, who is also the founder of the Ganga Research Center, in an article in regard to the water quality at Tehri, he states the following: the water in the lower portion of the reservoir, which cannot be removed, known as dead storage, will be a storehouse of inorganic and organic matter. The self-cleaning potential of the Ganga Jal is bound to diminish continuously. Today there are numerous problems like landslides from the surrounding hills into the reservoir, with threats to new villages, which were not included in earlier estimates. Dr. Naithani, a glaciologist who has spent several years studying the Gangotri Glacier, was asked how the receding Gangotri Glacier would impact the dam.
When the glacier retreats, lot of the sediments come through the water. Actually, the problem is that in the higher Himalaya, we have the granites rocks, and the granites are the very hard rock. In the geological sense, there is a very hardest rock. The granite is mainly made up of the quartz. In the sediments, the quartz grains, mainly the quartz grains are there, which damage actually the blades of the turbine. So if the glacier are retreating, the possibilities of the damage of the blades of the turbine is more. We are constructing the dam over the BACHAO Ghati. Then definitely BACHAO Ghati is very close. If our activity will be up to the maximum level, maximum height, then definitely this type of the activity will be affect the retreat of the glacier. Definitely will increase the rate of the retreat of the Gangotri glaciers.
Amidst conclusions, like the key issue is that the projects would cause social upliftment with minor negative impacts on the environment, and that overall the positives outweigh the negatives. The most astounding and painful must surely be the statement that apart from village temples, no monuments of cultural, religious, historical office of NTPC in Delhi, who are the official spokesperson, refused to be interviewed.